From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm John Kennedy. British Columbia Premier David Eby says he has a sick feeling thinking about the impacts from a deadly attack at a street festival in Vancouver. Speaking from the scene, Eby says British Columbians have a right to be angry, noting there are still many questions about the attack and why it happened.
Obviously, this person is profoundly ill. But there's so many questions that I have, there's so many questions that British Columbians have about how that could take place, how we could get to that moment. And as we learn those answers, we'll take the action that's necessary to ensure that it can't happen again.
The attack happened just after 8 p.m. Saturday when a man in an SUV raced along a street lined with food trucks at a Filipino community festival, killing at least 11 people and injuring 24 others. A car ramming attack at the Filipino community festival in Vancouver marks Canada's fourth attack in 7 years with vehicles used as weapons. Perpetrators, fueled by factors ranging from extremism to misogyny and mental illness, have deployed the tactic increasingly in recent decades. Wilfrid Laurier University public safety professor Jennifer Magnus says authorities need to use bollards, garbage trucks, and other barriers to block off crowded areas and public gatherings.
You can just see how easy it is. I mean, we just got back actually from Washington, D.C., and they were having Easter festivals, and there were no police presence anywhere. And I thought, wow, someone could just drive right through these people. And there's nothing anyone could do.
Vancouver police said on social media platform X they were confident the incident last night was not an act of terrorism. Prime Minister Mark Carney is expressing his condolences to the victims and their families of the attack in Vancouver. Carney says he's spoken with Public Safety Minister David McGuinty and his National Security Advisor. British Columbia Premier David Eby says the situation is difficult to not feel rage, but he's going to channel that rage into compassion for the Filipino community. In the aftermath of a massive explosion that rocked one of the Islamic Republic's main ports, Iran's president is visiting the injured. The facility explosion is purportedly linked to an earlier delivery of chemical ingredients needed to make missile propellant. Containers at the site of the blast appeared to have been smashed or thrown while the burned trucks and car chassis sat around the site. At least 40 people have died, with 1,000 others injured. Saskatchewan farmers say Chinese tariffs on their canola feels personal. A director of a Sask Oil Seeds organization says a large part of Saskatchewan's farm economy is driven by canola, and that tariffs on crops harm revenues. Canada and China are engaged in a bit of a trade war, with China slapping Canada with 100% tariffs on canola oil, meal, and peas in response to levies on Chinese-made electric vehicles, steel, and aluminum. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, Braden Shen, Tyler Tucker, and Justin Falk each scored second-period goals, and the St. Louis Blues beat the Winnipeg Jets 5-1, tying their playoff series 2-2. St. Louis won 14 straight regular season and playoff games at home, dating back to February 23rd. Kyle Connors scored, and Connor Hellebuck made 13 saves for Winnipeg before being pulled after Robert Thomas scored 2 minutes, 1 second into the third period. The Montreal Canadiens will look to even their first-round series at 2-2 and taking on the Washington Capitals at the Bell Center tonight. Montreal won 6-3 on Friday in Game 3, trimming the deficit. Rookie goalie Jakob Dobes will sit the start for Montreal after replacing Sam Montembois in the second period of Game 3. Canada's Jocelyn Peterman and Brett Gowan are remaining undefeated in an 8-6 win over Sweden at the World Mixed Doubles Curling Championship in Fredericton, New Brunswick. From the Canadian Press, I'm John Kennedy.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.